Okay, I'm going to share with you guys another story about a random reading that I just gave to somebody today. So I was out and about today and I run into this kid. As I'm talking to him, I'm like, hey, how's your day going? He's like, my day's going great. I said, that's awesome. He's like, how's your day? I said, my day's amazing. Then I proceed to ask him, hey, can I ask you something without you thinking I'm so crazy? And he said, yeah, what's up? So I said, do you know what a medium is? He goes, I said, like a psychic medium, someone that like speaks to spirits and like, could read people's lives and stuff. And he goes, oh yeah, I've heard of them. So I said, can I actually deliver a message to you? And in all honesty, at this point, I'm sure he thought I was absolutely insane. So I go, hey, listen, is your grandmother passed over? And he said, yeah. I said, that's your mom's mom? And he said, yeah. I said, so she's coming through for your mom. And he's like, what? I said, she's coming through to let your mom know that she's alive and well. She's very happy. And thank you for all the things that your mom did for her while she was alive. So she must have took care of her in the end of her life. And he said, she did. My mom did a lot for her. He's like, they were really, really close. So I said, well, this is the thing. There is another person that comes through, and I keep hearing brother, 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 but I feel like he's like an uncle, but I keep hearing the word brother. And he said, oh, yeah, that's my uncle. He was like my brother. He said, we were really, really close. I said, he also is coming through. I said, but something's weird. I said, did he die, like, bam, was gone? I had like an accident. It was just like he was there and he wasn't. He said, yeah. And I said, oh, and he said, I said, okay. I said, I want you to know something. He's in a good place. Okay, he's in a good place. He's with family that loves him, and he is happy, and he wants you to know that, okay? So, anyways, obviously we talked more, but I'm just being short because I don't want to be here all day. And then the crazy part is I said, did you lose a friend? And he goes, no. I said, I keep hearing friend, my friend. And he said, my brother's friend died. And I said, oh. I said, did this friend also die in an accident? And he said, yeah. And I said, was it a car accident? And he said, it was a golf cart. I said, did it flip over? And he said, yeah. And I said, yeah, because that's how they died. And he said, yeah. And I go, okay, well, let your brother know that they're very much alive on the other side, not to feel guilty about what happened, and know that this spirit is totally fine. And he said, it wasn't just my brother there. He said, I was there too. So we discussed a little bit about that, but then it gets crazy. I said, did your dog die? And he said, yeah, my dog died. And I said, your dog comes with a lot of love. A lot of love. Like, thank you for the beautiful life. And I keep hearing puppy. Did she have puppies? And he goes, no. I said, I keep hearing puppy. He goes, because right before she passed away, I got this puppy, and she would play with him all the time. And I said, okay, because I keep hearing that, so just, she's around. But it was really, really nice. It was a really nice little reading. It was short but sweet. But I told him, I said, let me tell you something. You have an amazing life ahead of you. Stay away from the riff-raff bullshit, and you're going to have a good life. I said, you have a lot of good qualities, and you're highly intuitive yourself. You have a lot of drive. You see what you want for your future. So I said, you can have that. Anything that you are seeing for your future, you can manifest to your reality. So it was a really, really good time. Anyways, I wanted to share it with you guys.